Hello, my loves. I am Lauren LeBeau, former attorney, serial entrepreneur, author, and most importantly, I am the table. Just ask Wendy Williams. Okay, guys, so it's just me and you today. I wanted to have a one on one chat with regard to one of I Am the Table's tenants, the pillars of I Am the Table, which is controlling your emotions. And this is so important, especially now around the holidays. In the US, we're gearing up for holiday season. It's one of my favorite times of year, actually. You wear your cozy clothes. It's amazing. Except the holidays can really trigger a lot of really nasty, sad, anxious emotions. And if you've lost somebody, the holidays can be especially painful if you're grieving. So I wanted to have a talk with you about going into the holidays, how we can protect ourselves, keep ourselves on the path of being the table, which basically means always loving ourselves and putting ourselves first. So I'm just going to go over a few things. I think there's like five different things I want to talk about with regard to not being triggered and controlling your emotions around the holidays. Now, what are the things that can trigger us at this time? First of all, family, okay? Family can be a huge trigger for a lot of reasons that I'm sure I don't even have to explain, but our family actually reflects back to us our journey from when we were kids. There's a lot of things like some of our deepest wounds and some of our biggest lessons happen while we were kids. And it takes us into through adulthood to really reckon with those things that happen. So when we get around family members, we're reminded of all those shitty memories and the ways that we weren't protected or we were protected or the things that were said or weren't said. And there can be a lot of really unresolved issues that come up. And studies have actually shown most people experience high levels of stress during the holidays and family gatherings during the holidays. And family gatherings can be a significant trigger for depression and anxiety. So we want to make sure that we're staving off any sort of depression and anxiety, especially this year. There's already so much, it's already so high pressure right now. So we want to really make sure we are protecting ourselves. So family is the first trigger. Also, I don't know if you guys knew, but domestic violence is actually it actually increases during the holidays due to all the stresses. And so as women, we of course want to protect ourselves, and the men who may be listening, we of course want to be very, very vigilant about protecting ourselves from any sort of violence in our homes and making sure that we are protected. And then, of course, what I mentioned about grieving, holidays can be a really painful reminder of the people that we no longer have in our lives. And especially even this year, I mean, with COVID, the people that we may have lost during this time, or the people that we just haven't seen in so many months because we're protecting ourselves. And a lot of us aren't even going to be able to be with family this year due to the pandemic. So there's like a triple load of grief happening in the world today at this holiday time. So that's why I thought it was important to just talk to you guys about this topic because I know I'm going through it. For those of you that did not know, I lost my mom 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. But right around this time, the fall going into, she passed away literally the day after Christmas. And this time of year, the fall going into the holiday season, it's really especially last year, I definitely noticed it. I started to get really down. I started to get really sad, started thinking about her a lot. And the first thing that brings up the first thing that I would want to say on this topic that's really important is just acceptance of where you are right now and also where your family is. So, like, for instance, when I was talking to my therapist about a couple weeks ago, I was just like, I'm just really not feeling good. I'm feeling sad. Like, I can't really talk about her without crying. It's like, and she reminded me that at this time of year, this is when she kind of started to decline, and she started to go in and out the hospital, and she was in long-term care, and things started getting really weird. And my body remembers that, even if my mind has kind of like put it out of my mind, my body remembers. So when I'm feeling like kind of like sluggish, not wanting to get out of bed, or I'm feeling sad, I now just remind myself, like, Lauren, it's okay to feel like this. This is a really tough time of year for you. And it actually allows me to like calm down, because I give myself the grace to just feel how I feel and just accept, like, my mom's not here, my mom will not be here for the holidays. So it's, even though it's hard to accept, you have to accept it so that you can actually not be like a hot ass mess, during all the gatherings. And it's the same thing, even if you're not grieving anybody, it's the same thing, or a similar idea, with if you have a family that perhaps is like toxic or extra critical, or you're not looking forward to spending the holidays with your family. It's like, rather than think like, oh, you know what, this year, maybe my mom won't be super critical. It's like, no, realizing that my mom is super critical. She's been that way since forever. She's going to continue to be that way. I'm going to accept her as she is. And I'm not going to have this fantasy thinking that she's going to change. Right. And by accepting it, it doesn't mean that it's okay. And you can still allow yourself to feel sad, angry, whatever you need to feel about that relationship. But you won't go into the holidays expecting something different. You have these unhealthy expectations, and then you get disappointed. So the acceptance part, it's hard. It's kind of a hard idea to think about, because a lot of times we don't want to accept the fact that our family member is gone. We don't want to accept the fact that we have shitty relationship with our siblings or whatever. Or our aunt is going to ask us, when are we going to lose weight, or when are you going to have kids? We don't want to accept that they're going to keep asking it, but rather than getting upset because they asked the same thing that they've asked for the past 20 years, you accept that that's what that person, it's not even about you a lot of times. That's what that person needs to ask you. And rather than be triggered, you just accept that that's what they're going to do. And you either ignore the question or you answer it and you move on, because it's about making sure that you are protecting your peace. Protecting your peace is the next step that I wanted to give in terms of surviving the holidays. Protecting your peace is so important. Right now, everything is so highly charged: politics, religion. The world is so divided. Everybody has very strong opinions about different things. And you know what? You're not going to change anybody's mind. You're really not. It's like when it's the same thing I was talking about on a prior show about arguing with people on social media. It's like at some point it's becomes silly, because you're not going to change anybody's mind. So we're in a political atmosphere where even the most mundane conversations can all of a sudden turn into like huge fights. So decide in advance what you are and what you aren't going to talk about, and what you are and you aren't going to engage in, and literally don't engage. Like, if someone tries to like pull you into a conversation that you really do not want to be a part of, and you know that you're going to get upset or triggered or feel offended, just be like, oh, my phone's ringing. Excuse me. Oh, and you know what? I need to go to the restroom. Oh, I should probably check on the turkey. Excuse me. Just literally don't engage. And then the other thing is, keep things light. Be the fun auntie. Be the cool auntie. Bring the Uno out. Bring the black cards revoked out. Take the kids ice skating. Go play in the snow. Take pictures. Get everybody together, take pictures, do things that are light and fun, rather than just sitting around and having awkward conversation, or, and things that can kind of distract you from any awkwardness or any feelings of heaviness. Protect your peace. The third thing, just breathe. Just breathe. If you find that you are triggered, you're starting to feel anxious, or you're just sad or depressed, or somebody is getting on your nerves, all you're required to do is breathe. So deep breathing sends a message to your brain to calm down and relax, right? So when we're emotionally triggered, we can really react and overreact irrationally. and we can attack people. And so ask yourself what triggered the emotional reaction first, and then breathe through it. Because understanding what made you react or understanding your triggers can really help you control it. And then just go into your yoga breath, darling. Okay, number 4, forget about perfection. There's no such thing. Just forget about it. Perfection is not required of you ever. Show up as the imperfectly perfect human you are. And if the biscuits burn, who gives a damn? Okay. If the Christmas lights don't go on, laugh it off and keep it pushing. If the gift that your nephew wanted is sold out, he's not going to remember in a week. He's going to have 5 million other toys to play with. Just a reminder to just not take things too seriously. Just because it's a holiday, it's not the end of the world. Don't get weighed down by tradition either. A lot of us, it's like, oh my God, well, I have to make the turkey like my mother made the turkey, or we have to have the greens that Aunt Bertha made, or well, we have to go to this place. And it's no, there's no haves, there's no, don't should yourself. Oh, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. No, it's a holiday. It can look like whatever you want it to look like. If you don't want to cook, don't cook. Go to a restaurant, start a new tradition. My family last year, we just decided that spending Thanksgiving, because my mother was the holiday queen, spending Thanksgiving at our house and trying to cook, that was just going to be too much. So we just decided to go to Philly for the weekend and hang out with some family down there, have Thanksgiving with them. And then for Christmas, we took a cruise. And that was like the best idea that we possibly could have, because first of all, it was great because we were like in the Caribbean, so it wasn't cold weather. It was beautiful weather. So it didn't even feel like Christmas, which was awesome. So it didn't allow us to get bogged down with the feeling of, oh my God, it's Christmas. Our mom's not here, my wife's not here, my grandmother's not here, and it's Christmas. We were just so busy enjoying ourselves and being in a place that didn't remind us of Christmas, every 5 minutes. Make new traditions if you have to. Say no to things that you don't want to do. No is a complete sentence. Don't be around people that have hurt you or that you don't want to be around, or don't feel like you have to interact with people that you don't want to be around. And you can either choose to just not be around that person. You can tell your family that your peace is more important than them having a perfect holiday or whatever they want to do. You have to fight for you. Remember, your peace is more important than any of these holiday activities that your family wants you at. So choose only the activities that are going to bring you joy. And definitely, if they're going to bring you stress, I would rethink it. And finally, don't forget your self care. So now more than ever, especially during the holidays, please prioritize your health. Eat great, healthy foods, exercise, sleep, 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 sleep. Try not to numb yourself out with the alcohol and whatever is your choice of intoxicant. But definitely, if you can, start to really focus on yourself and taking care of yourself at this time, because you are your number one priority. Just remember that. And nobody's going to get well taken care of if you're not well taken care of. So the kids, they can wait, figure out how they can make their own breakfast while you're on the treadmill or whatever needs to happen. Set yourself up to feel good this holiday. The whole Christmas season is supposed to be like the season of giving, right? So remember to give to yourself first. Give yourself the gift of for yourself well, whatever that looks like for you. I actually just came back from the chiropractor. I hadn't been this whole time of the pandemic, so it's probably been like 8 months that I've gotten chiropractic massage and got adjusted. And I literally felt so amazing. I hadn't had a massage, and I'm like a member of Hand and Stone, where you go like every single month and get your massage and facial. I hadn't gone to a massage since COVID, and just getting that massage, I was like, my God, I am going to be back. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And, if I have to risk COVID to be on this massage table, I will, because there's just certain things that bring you so much peace that it's worth it. Your mental health is important. Just remember that. So whatever it is that makes you feel good, do those things this holiday season. So that's it. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about these tips and tricks I gave? How do you deal with your holiday triggers? How do you control your emotions at the holidays? But overall, I hope that you guys have a wonderful holiday season and with your families. And please remember to enjoy them as much as you can. And if you can't, then enjoy yourself, enjoy your friends, have friendsgiving, create your own family. Your chosen family is just as important as your birth family. So guys, I'm Lauren LeBeau, and remember, there's always going to be someone who doesn't see your worth. Don't let that someone be you.